Hello everyone and welcome back to the FACEIT Season 3 finale live from the Dreamhack Open Winter 2015. On your screen you can see the beautiful city of Jönköping there. With Northern Lights as well, I didn't know we got them here. Wonderful. Anyway, we're going to have some lights of our own when we get into our final game of the day. I'm your host, Richard Lewis. With me is Duncan Thorin Shields. Please, he's got something to say.
I tell you what, you know that little video they play coming in when they show like all the old, you see like LDLC? Do you remember back when Envious was the top team? Oh God, they were great times. Nostalgia always gets to me, mate.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a sentimental guy. But anyway, on to now.
No, on to now indeed. It's the last game of the day. It's going to be NiP versus Luminosity. To help me break this one down for you, we've got Janko still with us despite Thorin's best efforts. And Vendetta.
I'll get him in the end.
So
They'll break.
So how are you doing anyway, boys?
Doing good, doing good. Excited to see the last game here, Luminosity coming out like a firework.
You look even more excited than I did.
Dude, I'm actually hyped.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually. I mean, it wouldn't take much
Type
for
4
it
as a Norwegian can be.
Yeah.
yeah, just naturally laconic.
Shots fired all over.
Yeah,
the place.
it's good. Like,
It's good.
we've
I
all
like it.
turned on each other at the end of the night, right? But look, the crowd's all coming. You can hear the NiP guys in the background. Obviously, they're always getting vocal support here in Sweden. I would have said coming into this one, NiP have got to be clear favourites if Luminosity somehow managed to beat Envious. But they actually beat Envious in a pretty convincing fashion. Now I'm not too sure. What do you guys think?
I mean, NiP was good, certainly, yesterday. They were better than I expected, but yeah, Luminosity that turned up today were really good, actually. And they were impressive even on the map they lost. This new lineup, it's working. I mean, FNX has come in, he's winning these clutch rounds. I feel like it's going to be competitive. I'm still favoring NiP, but I think this should be a competitive series. This can be a 3-map up, certainly.
I am surprised that Luminosity actually managed, to come up with a couple of strats. They're not as disjointed as I thought they would be. So if it were another tournament, if we weren't like in Sweden right now, I would say that Luminosity actually has a good chance considering the maps as well. But I just can't see them beating NiP in their home arena,
Yeah. Well, what do you think, Ben?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the maps that it's really going to come down to. I don't think we're going to see Dust 2. I think Luminosity are just going to get rid of that right away because NiP are normally pretty good. They got wrecked by Fnatic, but then again, both teams did. So if it goes into something like Cobble, Mirage, or even Inferno, which I wouldn't be surprised by, NiP like to play Inferno, historically speaking, so I could see that playing out very well for our Brazilians.
I feel like
Interesting.
I feel like that for NiP it would be best. I agree that I think that Luminosity is going to ban Dust 2, NiP is probably going to ban Overpass. And if I were NiP, I would actually maybe, even if I'm not as comfortable on that map, I would maybe pick Train against Luminosity because they can be prepared, on all of the maps. And Train is a map where you really need to have a game plan on T side. If you don't have a, clear game plan, you're just going to get crushed. So I think that could be maybe a curveball that NiP can throw.
I mean, do you think NiP need to throw curveballs here? Are we not underestimating NiP? We've talked about how they've overcome all these organizational issues. There's been a change of management. The guys have got smiles on their faces again, a spring in their step. Could this not be the lift that they need to maybe start to get back to winning ways?
I mean, you have to realize it's NiP. I mean, even when things before were supposed to be going well and the team was doing really well, and they're one of the best in the world, they still used to use weird curveball picks and they would pick a map that was strong for the opponent. So I wouldn't be surprised here if they go for a crazy pick, if they go for like a cash first pick or something where, assuming you lost, because Luminosity should ban that on the second rotation, so it'll be available. Something like that, because that's just the NiP way of doing it. Usually, you never pick, it's never a curveball as in usually you don't pick like the Train that's like the unexpected map. Usually it's a curveball as in you pick a map that actually the other team has a chance on, but for some reason you've decided you're going to win on. So I would actually be quite surprised if they went Janko's route and said, let's take Train. I think that'd be a good approach, because I agree, against a team that hasn't had any practice, they almost certainly can't be good on Train. It would be a fluke, but it's if they were good.
And we're talking about the map video here. I'm also guessing that Luminosity is going to pick Mirage, as their map, and they've really impressed.
Well, the way
on
they played
Mirage,
against
and
Envious,
NiP traditionally hasn't been that good on that map, even though they picked it up recently. They also beat Envious, but who hasn't?
Right. Yes!
Getting involved.
Janko's in the game, boys. He's in the
There we
game.
go.
And I'll tell you who else is in the game. We've
You
got
corrupted me.
Parla on
I wasn't
stage.
like this before I came.
Toxicity in action, boys.
I was just
We've
a
got
boy.
Parla on stage,
I changed
Get
people,
Right,
mate.
and the coach of Luminosity.
Crowd are already roaring for you, Get Right.
Yes,
Yeah, does it feel good?
yes.
Good, good. And just before we get into this, I brought, because I know this is going to be an intense matchup, we've got the Swedish crowd, the primary Swedish team. Sorry, Fnatic, it is kind of like NiP have the most fans. And I brought some sweets. Would you like a sweet? Just to get the vibes going, Zeus? A peace offering. Peace offering for everybody. All right, now, get right. It must feel awesome to be here in front of this crowd, no? Yeah, great. Zeus. You guys just had a surprising result against Envious.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think anyone was expecting us to beat Envious without it in practice.
But surely you guys must have felt that it could happen, and then it did. Do you know why it did happen?
We wanted it more.
Okay, well, so you feel maybe that they're lacking a bit after the major, they're not as motivated, potentially?
Oh, I can only say about us. We know how much we want it and what it means to us.
All right. Totte, can I at least get some words out of you? You know, maybe a bit of a more elaborate explanation about going into this match up against LG.
I don't know what to say, really. The support is great here, and it's going to be a tough game to play against the Brazilian guys. I mean, if you just look from yesterday, they lost 16-0, and I don't think they're even, you know, they don't feel good about it. They come here today, they play the majors of Cluj, they're beating them, they're showing they're a good team, and everyone knows they're a good team. So it was yesterday, it's just remove that from their plan or whatever, how to say it. And let's focus on this game, and it's very important for us, and it's very important for them as well. So I just want to have a good game, no matter what happens.
Were you surprised by the outcome of their matchup against Envious?
Yes and no, and yes is mostly because they're the majors winners, so it's more because of that, and they've been playing well recently as well, in my opinion. And no, because I know how good they really are, the Brazilian team, so no one should really underestimate them anymore.
All right, well, we've got Brazil versus Sweden, everybody. If you want to shake hands, head back off to your booths. We have an amazing match of Counter-Strike coming up, but first we are going to head back to the desk.
Yep, thanks a lot for that, Parla, and I don't know what was in those sweets. Hopefully it hasn't confused Get Right too much. He was like, yeah, just whatever, get me away from here. But anyway, we're going to get into the map, Vito. We're going to start testing if your theories are correct. Where do we think this one's going to go?
I mean, the bans seem to be fairly obvious. Like, it should be a Dust 2 ban from Luminosity. Over on the NiP side, I mean, in theory, you'd think something like Overpass. Yeah. This would be like an obvious ban here, so that these are the two that make a lot of sense. And then because we're talking about first pick here, I'm expecting, I mean, the problem is we actually know who picks first in this game. Do they usually do it if you ban second, you pick first on the other side? If it's Luminosity you pick, Mirage is an obvious one here. Yeah. It's traditionally helped them. It's obviously very good for them today. It's one where NiP isn't a proven team upon that map, even though they did show us something yesterday. For NiP, yeah, this is the real question. See, there's the one I thought, like, that's the pass that was always available for them there. Because it's true, not that a lot of teams like Cash nowadays. It used to be a very good team, if you remember when they first got this Alu lineup together. They were great on Cash, so I think that's a smart pick from them. Not going to be that great for Luminosity.
Well, notoriously, they surprised Envious in Katowice at the major, the first major, with this new lineup, beating them on Cash, so...
But again, everyone's doing that nowadays, so... yeah.
Bringing it back. But yeah, so I mean, look, NiP for ages, I've talked to the guys, and they honestly believe they're like a great team on
So here's
Cash.
the thing. For the last map, they have the choice. Do we go Inferno?
Yeah.
Or do we go with Cobblestone? Now, I actually suspect they're going to go Cobblestone. Okay? Yeah. They actually picked Cobblestone because they banned out Inferno. What do you actually think about NiP on Cobblestone? Because obviously they weren't really a custom map team.
Yeah, they weren't really, but they had some good... Yeah, and they beat Envious recently on Cobblestone as well.
Come on, don't keep going on about it. Everyone's beating them nowadays.
One of the better teams on Cobblestone.
Wow, yeah, sometimes.
Well, I mean, we go way back. NiP was one of the first.
They were really good on Cobblestone.
NiP was one of the first teams that picked up Cobble. I want to say if they watched the Luminosity game on Cobble, then they're gonna be, you know, in a much better position, because Luminosity couldn't have thought about, you know, some new strats after that map. They probably would have seen the one-way smoke that Luminosity used that caught Envious off guard a couple of times. So coming into Cobble, I think all around that NiP is still favored, except on Mirage maybe in particular. Yeah. But even if it's a good map for Luminosity, maybe even better one, I can still see NiP winning it, you know. when they were playing yesterday, Forrest was really on point with his op. He was, dismantling Envious.
Yeah.
Whenever they went for that mid control, so I can see that happening again. If he's on point, then yeah, NiP can cruise through this match.
I'll bring you in, Vendetta, at this point. I mean, do you think the veto has been particularly kind for NiP?
I think it's been good for NiP. Like, I'm looking at a 2-1 victory for NiP at this point. I like the cash pick a lot. It was in a similar lane as a train pick for me. I think it didn't really matter what they had to bid or where they went with it. I think either is perfectly fine, especially going up against Luminosity right now. I'm looking at 2-1 for NiP here.
I also felt like, what do you think? That in my mind, NiP doesn't have a clear map except for Dust 2 maybe right now that you can say, yeah, this is their map. That they can play any top team on this map.
But they're always competitive when they play on any map.
The weird thing is, going into Mirage as the first map, that's one of the maps that NiP, as of late, if you take the last 20 games, it's probably their most played map. But the results are varied from very good to confusing as hell. So they lose 16-12 to SK, but they beat Titan 16-3. They beat VP, but they lose to
SK.
Yeah. And it goes full circle. We're going to introduce the players. Duncan, I'll let you do this. Obviously, you know the NiP guys intimately, and I know you love talking about them.
Sure thing. On the very right-hand side here, a guy called Get Right. He actually is of the opinion that unless you do something, you can't be an expert about. So all he knows about the entire world is being a lurker. Doesn't know anything about anything else in life. That's all he can talk about. That's all he should talk about. Then next to him is Alu. He's like an incredibly flamboyant character. He's always like throwing around jokes, poetry, singing songs. Comes from the bardic tradition. Actually, he's a Finnish guy, and he's the AWPer of the team. In the middle, though, we've got Exist. Small guy on the outside, big guy inside. Real big heart, He's a great drinker as well. Known for like epic stories in the tavern, drinking out of tankards. Then next to him, we've got Forrest here. He's kind of like, he's just someone's brother or something. They just let him in the team. He's not so skilled, It's like Get Right goes out and his mom goes, take your brother with him. Okay. So they let him play in the team, and every now and then he's like their mascot. He does something funny. Everyone's like, Forrest. And then on the very left-hand side is Freiberg here. He's like a beta. He's a really passive player. He never will go. Very selfish player, actually. He reminds me of Happy and some of Envious, and he just uses a rifle every now and then. Loves the M4A1 though.
That was the perfect.
I get paid for this stuff.
That was the perfect inverse of what to expect from those guys. That was wonderful. Now I'll ask you, two gentlemen over there, a player to watch for the people at home. I'm sure everyone has a fan favorite in NiP, but who's going to come up big today?
Forrest.
Yeah.
Easy pick. Forrest has been their best player as of late. Ever since he started picking up the AWP consistently, he's just been getting back to the Forrest that we know, that kind of dominated CSGO the first 2 years. So Forrest is going to be the end-all be-all for NiP. As great as the other players are, he's going to be the one who carries them to victory.
Yeah, I feel that Forrest has been on point this tournament. I have a feeling that that's going to continue coming into this match. I really want to see how Freiberg performs, because he's been a question. He's been a question mark in this team for some time. Had a bit of a resurgence at the major, but as an entry fragger, he obviously has a very important role in the team. So. Yeah,
I wanted to get a hashtag on it, hashtag Freiberg watch, like see how he's doing, keep an eye on him, because
that could get dark one day.
No, but the thing is, we always talk about him, and it's like you go from being such an important player, this iconic entry fragger, one of the first great entry fraggers of CSGO when it started to really rise as an e-sport, and then now he's felt absent at all these big tournaments. Then you're right, he had a slight comeback at Cluj, a couple of good games, not so many good games, but then against TSM, wrecked them. So, I'm hoping for a big performance from him. I always am, because he's such a likable character.
Yeah. No, I'll agree with them, actually. I think on this map particularly, if Forrest's on point, sort of like a pine tree, then NiP will win this one. Top quality. Just get what you pay for when you hire me, mate.
Okay, well, let's take a look at Luminosity. Duncan, dare I ask you to introduce these players?
Do it, okay. So, Fur on the left-hand side. He's the guy we said he was the original star of this team. Actually, was much improved today. He really came with a big performance. It wasn't just Cold Zero on his own. So obviously, if he plays very well, then they can actually match NiP just in terms of raw skills. That was the whole point of this lineup change. Bringing in the guy to his left, FNX. it's not that he's playing like a superstar role, but he did win an amazing amount of clutch rounds in that particular game against an elite level team. So he was going against guys who have better aim than him. So really good sign going into it. And obviously, if a guy like that's going to be very clutch, he's got a lot of experience as well. So he's not going to get rattled by that sort of thing. The middle guy, a guy who's formerly his teammate, Fallen, he's a guy where it's weird because he's not like one of the best stoppers in the world, but when he has it rolling, he can produce highlight clips. We see when they see these packages they do, and he's also the in-game leader, so he has that dual role going on there, and having played with a number of these players now, he knows how to use them. To his right is Cold Zera. He really has. He showed it again in this series against Envious. He's really established himself as a legit star player now. Like, he's doing it time and time again, even against international competition. Yeah. So that's something that a lot of the good players from smaller regions don't usually do. They do it well against domestic players. Yeah, like Envious, you know. But when they play against the international competition, it all goes to pieces, you know. And then on the right-hand side is Taco, who is named after a delicious snack.
Brilliant.
I'm working what I know about him, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've really put the work in on this player. That is your premier CSGO analyst right there. So we're going to come out of that now. Thanks for your thoughts, Duncan. And I will ask you two gentlemen, again, for a player to watch. Surely after that performance against Envious, it's got to be FNX. Someone's going to go to bat.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take FNX under my wing here and go with them. Obviously, the easiest pick would have been Fur, right?
Yeah.
But FNX definitely, because he came up so big on, especially on Inferno, that last map, and that's kind of why they brought him in. He brings an entirely new aspect to Luminosity that they didn't have previously. He has more experience than anyone on that side, even more than Fallen. Like, I mean, he was playing professionally 4 years ahead of his Fallen.
I thought his performance actually against Envious was kind of not quite as extreme, but almost reminiscent of Makalela's at the major, where you just seemed to keep clutching rounds. You know, every time he was outnumbered, he managed, 1v2, 1v3. You know.
He had impact frags.
Yeah.
That's really the big thing. For all we could have cared, he could have had 7 kills that entire game. But if those 7 kills comes in 1v2 situations every time that save Luminosity, then that's worth so much more than the 25 eco frags that Happy picks up throughout the series.
I mean, you mentioned Neo and the amazing amount of clutch rounds he has through his career. FNX is a guy who almost 10 years ago won a major tournament being ESWC with Kogu and that MIBR team from Brazil. So, but besides him, I'd also like to point out Fallen as a key player for me, because he's also the AWPer and the in-game leader of the team, which can be pretty difficult at times juggling between the two. And you know, on these particular maps and against NiP, who even likes to run the double op setup, I think that he's gonna have to have a good game for them to be able to put up a fight against NiP. And we saw him underperform at the major in that best of 3 against Navi, and it was a real close best of 3. So, you know,
I want to say as well, I think he's proven that he can innovate tactically here. You know, some of the TXQs they had on Cobble, which was a map they lost, though. We haven't seen people kind of run those kind of strats.
Work
before.
very well with limited resources and limited time, which is extremely difficult in, you know, top level competition.
So looking forward to see what he can do tactically. I guess we need to start nudging our way towards predictions. We haven't had the 90-second warning yet. I'm guessing that's going to be coming in shortly. But you said you were feeling NiP was being favored in the Vita.
Yeah, NiP. I'm going to have to give them the upper hand. As much as I want to see Luminosity do well, I still think it's going to be NiP to close it out because of what you mentioned. NiP are very happy about getting those double ops on a lot of maps, and Alert and Forest are so good at making that efficient for them. The only thing that you can really do to counteract that is simply having the economy control the entire time from the get-go of the map. If you get NiP on their back end, then they're going to have a really hard time actually getting back into it. And I think that's going to be the big point, because even though Luminosity have solid offers in Fallen, he can be very streaky, and you can't really afford to be that kind of a player when you're going up against Force and Alert.
Yanko, anything?
I feel that, you know, it's really hard to predict the outcome based on maps, because Luminosity, with their old roster, they played all of the maps. You know, NiP doesn't play the 2 maps. These maps, they're more or less close, save for Mirage, like we already mentioned. I feel it's going to come down to performance, which team is going to show up individually more. I feel that, as I said at the beginning, I feel that this is a NiP win. I hope for a close game. We had some amazing moments in that Envious Luminosity game. The crowd was a bit quiet, so I hope that now when NiP is actually playing, we're going to get some, you know, roars.
I don't think we need to worry too much about that. We've already heard it. Duncan, again, look on the surface of this veto, are you even leaning towards NiP here?
I am overall. I think the most interesting map initially is Mirage, because obviously that's the pick of Vegas and Luminosity, but we saw yesterday NiP can do some things on that map. But I'm still not entirely sold on NiP's Mirage, actually. I think it's one where they can be very up and down. So certainly Luminosity could pull a miracle and win that one and make it a 3-map series, because I think Cash will go to NiP. Fairly confident about that one. But if it gets to a 3rd map, now it'll get very interesting, because I still favor NiP overall. I'd say they're going to win 2-1.
Yep.
But Cobblestone's not an NiP map. Like I know it's not a map also in theory for the Luminosity team. They've got a new lineup. But that'll be kind of shaky if we get to a 3rd one there. So I'm going to say NiP will win 2-1, but it's mainly the 1st and 3rd one I'm interested in if we have that series. I think Cash should convincingly be the NiP win.
All right, well, thanks a lot for your thoughts. Did I get your prediction, Janko? Did you say a score?
Yeah, I said 2-1 for NiP.
It was 2-1 for NiP.
These teams have never played each other ever before, even with their own lineups.
And that sets me up wonderfully, Janko, for the next bit. So we are going to get into the game. It's the last game of the day. It's NiP versus Luminosity. It's going to be cast by Anders and Semler. But before we get into that, we asked both of these teams what they thought about the prospect of playing each other.
Our goal in this tournament is, of course, to win. I mean, we haven't won a tournament in a while, so we expect to come here and win. We've been playing pretty well recently online, so.
We didn't practice once to come here. We didn't have time. We changed our lineup. It was 2 days ago, and we came here and we just beat the world champions on pure raw talent, where we had 2-hour tactical yesterday on my laptop.
If we would play against Luminosity today, I think we would have a pretty good chance. They just changed the roster, so they have a few new players in the team. Maybe they don't have the teamwork and everything going so far, so I think I would rather play Luminosity.
I mean, not trying to gloat, but the players on my team, they're really skilled. If you just mess around with them, they'll take your head clean off in 1 second.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dreamhack here. It's the final match of the day, best of 3 game, and it is going to be NiP playing Luminosity, and look at the energy here, Semler. What's happened? Could it be that it's because NiP is in the house? I think it just might be.
Crazy thought, Anders. Crazy thought. All right, now we're good. But yes, NiP are the team now that have got the home crowd. And, you know, we've always said it in the past, home turf advantage, Anders. The reality is that the crowd doesn't make a peep unless NiP are playing and are on the server and are fragging. So this is it, the time we've all been waiting for. All of these guys here have been waiting for. There's even a crew out there with like a NiP banner leading chants.
Yeah, they've got their own
football match out here.
They've got their own group of really hardcore supporters as well. It's fantastic.
That's right.
Oh, but we've got some LG people here as well.
We got some LG people.
Nice. Right. Not bad at all. Yeah. You know, there was briefly, before we get into the match, and we are just getting ready for the knife and everything else, there was another list of sort of 5 names that was on my mind. Some people named Ave and Sunder and Minette and Sonic and Trace.
So they're opening a museum?
I don't know, yeah. Well, they're old enough to. But I don't know how they strayed into my mind. Nothing's been confirmed, but it's the last time I'll mention them in this best of 3, though, because now we're going to get into it here. Mirage going to be coming up as the first map here, and Luminosity beating Envy, the major championship winners. That's got to be considered one hell of a big deal already for the Brazilians. Now they get to face the home crowd team here of NiP, who will be starting on the terrorist side of Mirage.
And we saw just how capable Luminosity were on Mirage earlier versus Envy, versus the Frenchmen, versus the major championship winners, the top team in the world. They snuffed them, and now we'll see if they can do it to the home team as well. Flashes go sailing into the B side, and already they're falling back, but this is excellent defense. Taco starting off, following with another headshot, and NiP, they're getting picked apart, Anders.
Great start here for the Brazilians. Bomb not even down yet. Exist going to get a good refrag there on Taco, but it's going to require a lot more. The rotation has already happened, and Fur coming up from behind here. That is a really big deal. All he has to do is wait patiently. Spots one guy down there, and it's going to be an easy headshot if they reveal themselves. It's going to be the one there. Alu going down immediately, and now Forrest and Exist, they're trapped in here. Forrest, last man left, and in a 1 versus 3, he gets a headshot in. Still more to come, maybe 45 seconds here. And Luminosity, they should not be giving up this round. There's almost no way that Forrest could do this. He's got the clock out, though, hasn't reloaded yet, and looking for more headshots. and they're a little bit scared of him. Forrest is actually controlling right now where the Luminosity players can move and where they can't. 30 seconds, gonna go for the peak once again. It's a 1-versus-1 fight, and right now, Forrest, he's just dueling them one at a time. He gets a headshot on Fallen. He might actually do this. Cold is behind him. Oh my God, he picks it up. That's gonna be the win. NiP, what a way to start.
I need some help at the desk, please. My monster flew everywhere. Please help.
Wow. Well, if you wanted to get the crowd behind you, I guess you could, put yourself in a 1-versus-4 and then win it. It's a bold strategy, I know, but moving into the second round as we try and compose ourselves here, Alu's going to be moving up with the Mac-10 in hand and wrecking a couple of people in connector. First, still here with the Eagle, and could do some damage with a couple of headshots here. He's been found out. Forrest dropping very low on health. We've got to be a bit careful. Scout from Fallen, not really been put into play yet.
No, and the shots. I mean, Taco, he's up close. He's got that UMP. Let's see if he can find the shot here. Close, nicely done. That's the bomb carrier as well. Pinned down, so that wasn't going to help. But Alu still wreaking havoc in the back lines. Picks off Fair. And Taco, mid-air, double kill, and he's gonna set up for the triple as well. Alu's sitting on 4. If he pulls off this clutch, it's the ace, but it's not meant to be. Taco with the quad right back into it, and LG, they're setting out for their mission, which is basically silence the crowd.
What a sickening round from Taco. That's beautiful counter-strike. Look at this.
Oh my God, that right there.
And Alu jumping in the end. I mean, this would have been Alu's ace, by the way. He got stolen by Taco. Really well played here by the Brazilian player. And he jumps at the end, and it's so dangerous to do it. Definitely a big risk to take. Now, that's going to tie the scoreline at 1-1, and NiP feeling motivated. Well, they're going to come back with armor and pistols and a single AK here for Alu. Nice grenade early on from the CT side. Soften up the Swedes just a little bit here. Molotov goes out, and that'll actually slow them down a lot. Are they running through? A smoke to cover it or to extinguish that Molotov. They're still waiting up here. And look at Luminosity. I mean, talk about over-rotation. They've got 4 people basically at this bomb site, and a 5th wanted to get in there. They're going to rotate back into place now, but a little bit jumpy early on here.
Just a touch, and it's just a touch, but I love that it is back and forth right here at the beginning of this. We wanted a close series to finish things here tonight, to settle who moves on to the semifinals and to who goes home. So, let's see. NiP gathered up once again. They had success here, in large part thanks to Forrest's heroics. So we'll see if they can pull it off again, because they're not leaving themselves much time now to back off. They're waiting on Exist to pull the trigger on the A site right now. NiP, they need him to make some noise, cause a bit of a diversion, at least pull a little bit of the focus over here towards the pointy letter, but he doesn't really do anything. Actually, the clock is working against Luminosity. They're converging 2 players at least over on the A side, and there we go. They finally spot Exist, but he's the only one, and this should allow for the defense here on the B side to remain solid for the Brazilians.
Yeah, Fur picking up a headshot there. Taco with a second and a third as well, actually. Yeah, there's going to be third kill for him. Taco's just, I mean, apart from the fact that he obviously clutched that round, very well played. The fact that he sort of sticks around and jumps in, looks into the hallways, because he sees them coming way before they show up. So smart play here from the CT side. It's going to be 2-1, and the 4th round is coming up, and NiP, with no bomb plant either, going to have to go for a bit of an eco this time around.
Yeah, that's the main thing now. It's going to slow down the pace. It allows for Luminosity. Unfortunately, they didn't hold on to any of the SMGs, so I suppose they didn't quite know, or they're just going to go ahead and bank and invest on the next one, because they have full rifles across the board here, Luminosity, and they shouldn't drop anybody. I mean, there is, what, $600 spent here by NiP on 2 pistols. That's it. The rest of them rocking Glocks. But underpass push coming through so far. There is a man leading it, but Fallen, he's waiting, he's ready. And he's worried about getting pinched, but that shouldn't be a problem for him so far, because he can just whip around and take Forrest's face off, it seems.
Ooh, get right long range though, and Freiburg coming out of underpass. Got to be a bit careful they don't give up too many kills in this round, LG. They've got some nice control still, though, in the middle here. Cold, as long as he doesn't overextend, he's got so much vision of what's going on that the rest of the players can really just relax and wait in their positions. So I think Cold is like he's only the key to the center of the map right now. And that is Sandstorm you're hearing in the background, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Make no mistake.
Fitting here at Dreamhack. All right, well, Freiberg's leading the way. He's going to go leaping right into the arms of Cold. Aim punch with no Kevlar means that he's just going to get wiped out. And that leaves the remaining 3 players here for NiP who kind of have to make the play. They have to go. They're running out of time. They need to get this bomb plant at all costs, and Alu just might be able to pull this off. Yes, his teammate, just a diversion. Perfectly done there by Exist. Buys just enough time for that bomb to get planted. That's exactly what they needed in NiP. A little bit of a lucky draw, but also great timing there from Exist.
Very well done. Bomb plant, a couple of kills in there as well. So NiP still staying in the game, obviously. 3-1 is not too bad. The important thing is keeping the economy low. Luminosity going back to a card they've played so many times in this tournament before, which is that double AWP setup, and it's so powerful. Fallen, we knew was very good at AWPing. Cold, I think we've seen less from, but it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, this was their go-to strategy right at the beginning, going up against Envy as well. We were kind of questioning it then. It worked out excellently for Luminosity, so I don't see any reason why they would just change up. They know that NiP have seen this before. They're just going to go at it head on. So very little subtlety here. Fallen, though, with the aggressive position. Not going to be able to get that first shot. Just a bit too quick there for him. So Get Right manages to sneak back. And, well, NiP, they're getting very close to pulling off Envy's favorite strategy, which is go up through connector onto A with a bunch of people and pray.
So much time still for NiP to make their way forward. They've got some decent mid control here. LG being a little bit passive. Forrest moving up, flash in. He actually turns around for it, Forrest. That was impressive, but Fur is going to go down for getting the kill. Forrest, Fallen, sorry, with the refrag and Get Right in there. Just a lot of trading coming back and forth. Fallen going to go down next. It's back into a 2 versus 2 here. Taco trying to find an opening, but now Cold is going to take his place with the AWP instead. He goes down to Alu, and now Taco, he clutched it once. Can he do it again?
He has to make it happen here. They're going to get reset. Otherwise, 1v2 situation, and already they're changing up positions as Exist backing off. He allows Alu to play. That's some confidence in your teammate, right? You just leave your teammate on the site alone, and Alu, sure enough, 2 kills once he gets that AWP. He locks it down for NiP, and there we go. The men with the banners.
They're so ready as well. So 3-2, 2 members of NiP surviving, everybody from Luminosity going down, but the Brazilian team able to spread the money just thin enough. This is a bit of a sign as well that Luminosity are saying, essentially, we know you're good enough that if we start to eco, this could get dangerous. So they want to keep the buy happening, even though it's a little bit, thin spread here. It's all right.
Exact same strategy already. Fair, once again, going straight into underpass. He gets control of it as well, but now he's boxed. Now he actually has nowhere to go. Forrest is waiting up in B apartments, and, well, now there's a couple of players waiting for him at top mid as well. Freiberg, all with that AWP. It's going to get nasty here for Fur unless he gets some help from his teammates, so needs to make that happen.
That was a good improvise from Freiberg. He made that jump happen.
Forrest just goes and dies needlessly. What?
Yeah, they should have been able to use their positions to have him boxed in like that to just make it work a little bit better, probably.
I guess he just wanted to, they don't want to waste too much time with Fur sitting there, but Forrest has allowed him to get out in one piece, and now the defense is solid on the B side for Luminosity. They know that nobody's up in apartments anymore. It has to be A, and already they're rotating over. Taco's about to get on the site. Get Right turns away at the worst possible time. Is he going to get shot in the back? He might. He is still going to be. No, he doesn't even take one with them. Cold, FNX, just doing damage, and they actually stopped and they pushed before it even gets started.
Oh no, Freiberg and Exist left here, 2 versus 4. And a little bit tricky here for the Swedish team. Exist trying to get out, good flashbang in. And he does pick up the kill on FNX, but there's still more to come, and only 50 seconds here. It's almost no time. Freiberg hitting a headshot, but Fur will shut it down. And with 12 seconds, Freiberg should not be able to win this. He's flashed as well. Great job from Fur there, triple kill on him. And that's going to be LG winning the round at 4-2. So, very good job. They assumed that there would be nobody down in shadows, but as we well know, Samler, assumption is the mother of all screw-ups.
See, right? Oh, Dreamhack, and as you can say the full line. I'm surprised that Fur didn't drop an AWP, a second AWP. He had 4,900 plus the Kevlar. He could have got dropped a rifle. Seeing as how Luminosity have really, shown that they appreciate the double op strategy, that's a part of their key, game plan. I love this read, though, from Luminosity. They're within the smoke radius. If there is going to be some kind of smoke execute onto the A site, they're going to be in perfect positions to just slap NiP down as they come out of pit. They have the crossfire already established. This could get nasty. First man down, and there it is. It just turns into a slaughter.
Wow.
Nothing achieved for NiP. Not a single point of damage taken by Luminosity there.
kittens in the blender, I think is something you used to say a fair bit.
That's that's a good. That's appropriate.
For this particular slaughter, I think it definitely was. That turned ugly very quickly. I don't think anyone from Luminosity even took any damage at all. So LG doing a really good job here. 5-2, and NiP. Oh, Galil's in there. Almost no flashbangs, not a single HE or Molotov. This is a dangerous buy.
Yeah, I'd say so, because why not just eat another round of eco, give Alu the AWP, because that happens. He baits himself out there, sure, but Fallen not going to miss that shot. Starts off strong here for Luminosity once again, and now NiP, they have to slow down the pace and hope that Luminosity are going to be the team to make a mistake, or get lucky with the spray through the smoke forest. He tags Taco once, but that would have been something that could have put NiP back in this round.
I would have probably preferred to have had the two guys with Galil's go Tech-9 and grenades instead to have a little bit more utility. You've got more depth of play in that sense if you've got some more utility. And right now, NiP, you can tell it's coming back. I mean, they lost Alu, that's one thing. They've got 2 smokes left right now to try and execute on the A-bomb site. That won't be enough to stop LG. So what they need is a really strong entry frag and a hard one there. Exist going to be dropping cold. That is a good start. Still 3 people on the A-bomb site, though.
Yeah, now, and these smokes aren't really going to be too effective. Nobody waiting in CT. Instead, it is going to be Phoenix, FNX, chilling out in shadow. Freiburg spots the gun barrel, but he's going to get caught. There's the bait. There's the trap, and Fair with the double kill. Opens it up now. Get right and Force, the last 2 alive, and they're pinned down in Tetris. They have no idea that FNX is even playing up on the balcony. He takes one with him, and then Fair doing big work this round. 3 kills for him, keeps his in-game leader alive, and puts Luminosity up on his 6th round. This is where it starts to get really frustrating for NiP. They have to eat that round of eco again, and it should be a hard eco, not even a quasi. Hard eco, guarantee the AWP for Alu. Make sure he has that sniper rifle.
And I think the game is also shaping up in a way where we can sort of tell that in the beginning there were so many rounds being traded. Right now it seems like Luminosity, they've dialed in and they know what's up now. So NiP, they're going to have to come up with something big in the next buy round here. Otherwise, things can get a little bit ugly. 6-2, still salvageable, but you've got to do it now.
All the damage is here. Nice smoke going in to block off top connector, but not if Fur can peek first. So get right, gone. Cold nearly getting that spray transfer. Freiburg picked off, and it's just going to be Alu now alone, trying to work his way through B apartments, but he got spotted early on, so it's not really going to pan out for him here. As soon as he shows himself, Taco's there to take his head off.
Infer with 1 more triple. What's he up to in terms of kills now?
Well done.
Yeah, 15, 3 and 3. It's not too bad at the moment. You mentioned the smoke to top connector. They're very, very cool stuff. We've seen Exist setting up the smoke in T-spawn as well, which I think is with one of those famous jump scripts that everyone's using to land in the window. Now, that is stuff that NiP haven't done for a long time. It's been so long since NiP have tried to sort of like come up with anything new at all. So the fact that NiP are actually doing new smokes and different grenades is a pretty cool sign. We haven't seen them do anything new in like, what, 3 years? Seriously, it's been working for so long that they haven't even been forced to. So this is pretty cool. I like it. There's that grenade that goes up to top connector. A lot of stuff here that NiP haven't always been doing.
Yeah, smokes, a little bit of confusion there, it seems. Wasted, but yeah, that's the main thing right there. Fair, all the way into T-spawn, all the way in back of NiP. He's gonna be able to close on quick, but it doesn't matter. Taco doing such big damage. 2 kills for him, and Alu gets picked off cold. So Get Right is now the last man alive, 1v4. There is a man on the side, he knows this, but he's not gonna win the duel. Cold is there to shut him down with the triple kill at the end of the round. It actually all comes in 3s, Anders. What else comes with the 3?
Well, neither Half-Life nor Portal nor Left 4 Dead.
Right?
None of it similar.
Take note, Valve.
Gaben, please.
Luminosity, at least they're trying.
We're dying over here. Can't wait any longer. 8-2 right now. Gotta be a little bit disappointed. I think NiP actually going for a tactical timeout. I think it's a really good idea now. That round is so cool because they throw a smoke at bottom connector, they throw a smoke at top connector, they smoke off the window, and then they have free reign to run right into connector. All they needed was to get the guy in ladder room, and things would have been perfect. So it's a real shame that it doesn't work out that way, because it's a very good idea, very well thought out idea for NiP, and the execution was just fine. But you know, Taco just wrecked them.
This remains the issue with NiP right now. It's just like they have the idea, the execution is there.
That's so brave as well. I love it.
Yes, and he's right in the middle of everybody as well, man.
Yeah.
That does take some bravery, but I mean, you can see that the idea is there. It's just that every time it comes to an execute, there's like a split-second hesitation. The first man goes in, he dies. Instead of there being that instant refrag where it's just like, yeah, everybody's on his tail, boom, 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 boom. It all like falls together because nobody is afraid. Everybody just charges onto a site. With NiP, you see that hesitation. You really do, and it costs them time and time again. So that's something that really needs to change here for the Ninjas if they want to make it through this best of 3. They have to dig deep and find it somewhere because they had it.
Yeah, I mean, they've shown it since as well, but it's been sort of, you know, spread out across a couple of tournaments. You know, the one big game against TSM at the major, and, you know, in Dubai they did really well all of a sudden against VP, I think it was. And yeah, it's just like every once in a while they show up and they do really good stuff, but it's got to be a little bit more consistent here. This round, and actually it's something that Maniac's been bringing up a bunch of times, did it at San Jose as well. This idea of taking a tactical timeout into an eco round, or what's more or less an eco round here, can be really dangerous, right? Because now you've got a bit of a break. You've already told your teammates, we can do this, boys. I've seen you do this before. Let's get back in and wreck them. And then you're playing with pistols and armor, and you end up getting sort of shut down, probably. If you win it, it's great, but probably you're going to get shut down. So all the sort of mental building you've been doing in the timeout might be for nothing. I mean, Maniac bringing up this point, and I think it's a valid point.
Yeah, if it gets shattered, well, then you're right back where you started, and now you have to perform because you have the rifles. Now, let's see, a little bit of a welcome nade all the way up to top, but it's just a second too late, and it's not going to catch the man who's managed to find refuge behind the boxes. They're still gathered up, though, NiP, and they are once again converging on mid. It does look like it's going to be a connector to A kind of play, but they're getting pushed again. FNX. Surprise, surprise, get right. Good night. Time for a nap. And the rest of his team are getting slaughtered as well. Just, again, brutal. Luminosity, they're just completely shutting out NiP.
Right, and that's a couple of rounds now where they've been actually pushed very aggressively like that, which is what Luminosity were doing earlier as well against the Envy team. What's interesting is, the problem when you're playing on the terrorist side is that instead of focusing on some sort of execute towards the bomb side, now you've got to adjust your game to say, how do we beat the initial pushes, or how do we at least make sure that we're not being pushed somewhere without knowing it? And then once we're really confident, we can go somewhere else. So the game for NiP is changing all the time right now, and it's Luminosity controlling the pace.
Doing a very good job of it because, again, they've pushed into pit. They've got a man lurking there waiting to see if GetRight wants to come and say hello. Now, GetRight, he's taking a different tack, as we can see. And again, NiP focusing on that mid control, which is a key part of it. The only problem is you don't want to slow walk into an AWP's crosshairs. Cold just removes Force from the map. And once again, Luminosity coming out ahead. GetRight attempts to bring it back. He nearly hits that jumping shot, but it's not going to be good enough. And Luminosity, they just continue to look dominant. Oh, this is clever. Getting the boost on the other side of the box.
This is where Alu, I mean, it's not his fault, but they need a target, right? They need Luminosity to make a mistake. But because LG already have the opening frag, they're not feeling very hungry to go and peek anywhere. Instead, they're just waiting with about 38 seconds now. They can just wait for this to happen.
Alu, yeah. I think Alu jumping there from the box actually spotted out Cold, and there you go, Freiburg. Punch down Cold. That was some crucial information gained, even with the pre-fire. And GetRight there to take out Fallen. Both ops down for Luminosity. Man advantage for NiP holding on to this site. And now, can Luminosity get in here? Can they do the damage fast enough? They have kits. That's not the issue. Time, though, it's ticking.
Good shot there from FNX, and Freiburg gonna get the one, goes around, gets another headshot, and it is gonna be a triple kill here for Freiburg, and a nice round, a much needed one here for the NiP team. Right now, I mean, if they can get up to 6 rounds, if they can take the next 3 in a row, which is not impossible, then that would be a very good scoreline.
Oh, yeah. 9-6 would be acceptable. Absolutely. Problem is, Luminosity still have plenty of money in the bank. 3 guys floating above 5,000, so getting them to eco is going to be a bit of a tricky business here for the Ninjas, but it is possible. Double op play here for NiP, and this is when Luminosity decide it's time to change up the strats, boys. It's time to go aggressive, and Freiburg gets wiped out. Taco lands the headshot instantly, and then what do they do, Luminosity? Well, they're writing a textbook for us live, Anders, on how to play CS. You get that first kill, you destabilize NiP, and then you back off, and you give NiP no chance to get a refrag.
Yeah, he's exactly right. GetRight will get one though anyway. That was FNX getting caught just a little bit here. And I think they realized how close he was, so he's gonna have to fall back once again. GetRight spraying and missing a little bit here. But he do damage to both Taco and Fallen, so they can still get in. Good shot from GetRight. He's gonna get the one spraying while blind, but preemptively guessing where they might be coming from. Cold gonna take that one kill there, and Fallen with another one on Alu.
They can't make any progress onto the side, NiP. Despite GetRight's best efforts, they're just stuck. They aren't pushing forward. They're stuck out in the open, basically. Exist, he's going to take one with them. They have to calm down Luminosity. They still have control of the situation. 40 seconds left. Exist falls back to Tetris, and now it's going to get interesting. Can he actually find the headshot, or will Luminosity make the mistake of pushing forward? No, he gets spotted again. So there's the info. And Fallen's taking an ultra-passive position. He's not going to be an easy target here for Exist. This is really well played by Luminosity.
That's what they want. They know that he has to go and plant that bomb at some point, so why fight him before that happens? At least make him get into a position where you know where he's going to be. It looks like he might at least get the bomb down. He's actually got a Molotov, which might buy a little bit of time. He's so worried that they're going to come for him here. Molotov goes down, and he's going to have to stick it this time. He's got the AK behind the boxes. They're getting very close. He manages to get the AK out in time, though, and does he win the fight? No, he's not going to get it. Fur will take him down instead, and a good save there from LG. I mean, they played this one very smartly. They're very cool about their positioning.
No, they are. That's super calm. Even in the chaos, when Get Right was really trying to apply as much pressure as possible, trying to force them to make errors, he did get 2 kills out of that Get Right. He was the reason why NiP were still in that. But it looks like we actually have a pause coming in.
Yeah,
but NiP already used their tac pause, so...
Yeah, a bit of a crash, I think, on someone. Just to keep you guys up to date with the Fur rec meter, he's currently up to 18, 3 and 4 right now. So yeah, Fur has gone mad at this point. Very, very impressive, obviously. 10 and 3, best that NiP could do, even though they don't have, well, they have money to, so this is one of those rounds. They've got to go for like the triple AK, double Tech 9, and then grenades. This has got to be the play here. Because otherwise, there's no way they're going to eco in the 14th round. That would be insane.
No, but that's also like anti-NiP. If NiP do that, I'm going to go lean over and like check just to make sure who's sitting in the booth again, right? So like 3 guys can full buy, 2 guys can go for Tech 9s with nades.
They've smuggled someone else in there.
Right? What have you done with NiP? How did you do this?
Look at all of these people. I mean, we've been growing the size of Dreamhack, the Counter-Strike audience year for year, and it's getting bigger and better and better, bigger and better all the time. And look at this, there's not even enough people here anyway, or not enough seats. We still need more seats, Emily.
Still need more seats.
Well, they should be hopefully getting back on the server. What do you think? If this turns into like a 10-5, oh, there's some real fans out there I can see.
Yeah, I even spotted an old LGB fan out there. Wow, crazy. He exists. Yeah, we've dropped a Get Right, it looks like, actually. So, it's been, knock on wood, obviously, it's been remarkably smooth so far over the past 2 days as far as, tech difficulties, etc. Haven't had any of them nearly. So, of course, it had to come up now. But
so what do you say? 10-5 if it goes like that for NiP, which obviously everyone at the stadium here or the arena is going to be hoping for. What do you think? Is that enough? Good enough? 10-5? Manageable?
I think
winnable.
It's winnable. It's just that Luminosity have been so on point with their strats, like actually showing us some innovative work. And, Cobblestone comes to mind when they were on their T side there. Mirage, they didn't really, they just shut out Envy, so it wasn't too much time for them to show off. But right now, I'm really appreciating Luminosity and Fallen in particular. If he's the one who's really, applying himself, coming up with the strats, he's got a lot of clever plays stored up for this kind of situation on Mirage versus NiP. NiP is going to be all about just headshots. Headshots on the CT side.
Well, we have resumed the game here. 14th round is coming up. It's still the first half. It's still the first map in this best of 3. So if you're just joining us here, Dreamhack and FACEIT, it's right about time as well. Fallen putting out a couple of shots in the middle and not connecting with anybody. Forest, though, going to open up on a Fur, who once again went for one of those underpass pushes.
Yeah, they didn't. It doesn't look like NiP knew it either. They were just playing on it, but there it is. Exist takes out Fenef and X. That's going to open everything up here. Cold does manage to take out Freiburg, so they do bring it back to just a 1-man advantage here for NiP. Taco with the push. How did he get there? It's underpass, and Fallen just sits for his down and explains the facts of life.
He jumped down right behind him, right as Forrest went out. Taco was just charging in there, and the problem is, that was the bomb that dropped in the middle. So now NiP, they've got the bomb sign, yes, but they don't have the bomb, and that's a very big problem indeed. Luckily, and this is the one sort of, there's a bit of a silver lining here for NiP, they've got time. So they can actually go and look for a way back in, but they need to get it and Get Right. He's making a lot of noise here. They should have probably heard, they haven't heard him yet.
They must have heard him now.
Well, now they
definitely heard him.
Yeah,
Fallen knows now. He gets spotted though. Misses the shot. Get right, just comes charging around that corner though, and he's only getting hit back by a bullet. Taco's there with the headshot. Exists though, he is doing a lot of work for NiP. Picks up the first kill to bring them back, but then Taco, of course, just gonna hug that corner. Fallen is his long distance man, and Fallen is Fallen is fallen. He's dead.
And now look at this. This would be a really good moment. A clutch. He jumps down. Now he knows where he is, and he's got the health advantage right now. Exist. Oh, that grenade actually gonna sort of reset it. He's got no time. He can't possibly run back in, and well, Taco just has to stay alive. And Exist can't find him. No meal there. Delicious round from Taco, really.
Yeah, real
Double
crisp.
kill.
Real crisp, but tangy. But I mean, it was also, you know, it wasn't a hot and spicy one either, Anders. It was a very mild way of approaching it, right? Just kind of sat there.
Would you say he wrapped into underpass? You know? 15th round is coming up in Alu with the sole AWP and then pistol armor for everybody else. Some good grenades as well. But right now, Luminosity they're proving themselves worthy. A lot of people were saying, even people saying, they might not have been worth the spot here because of the 2 new people coming in, but they definitely are. Fur, 1 more kill to add to the rank. His first half has been nothing short of incredible, and Get Right's going to be going down, so we'll see what they can bring to the table here in NiP with 4 members left, and Freiburg going down, making it 3.
You know, Forrest hoping that he can find something. FNX dunks a nade on Exist in the meantime. And Forrest, now they know exactly where he's playing from, up in connector. Fur's got control of pit though, so it really isn't gonna get any easier here for Forrest. He does find the long range, well, it's not to say he found the long range shot, but then FNX does one better, and Fair will find the last kill of this half. That puts him on a nice round 20 frags to close, and a 12-3 scoreline here for Luminosity, who are just, well, I mean, in the process of rolling over NiP.
Wrapping them up nicely.
Indeed, man. And it's not even, you know, it's not even like a cheese or anything either. It's not cheesy. It's not overly.
It's just really, they play, the thing is they're playing a very similar style as to earlier today. We've got Fur and Underpass. We've got the aggressive pushes happening in apartments. Not so much in the B side of things. They were doing that against NV2, but they sort of relaxed on that a bit here. Apart from this one round where we saw Taco sort of running in there after them, right? But it's been a very similar style, and we'll see if NiP have any kind of an answer. Right now, they obviously need the pistol round, and then they need another 12 rounds after that.
Oh. Luminosity really going to be just applying the pressure here. Straight onto the B site, no fear at all. And Exist, he's going to be able to back up just in time. Looking for the headshot, he can't seem to connect. He finally gets the job done, but only runs out of bullets at the end. Taco, cold, picking up frags, and Forrest pinned down. No heroics this time. Palu is going to be able to get the backstab, though. He comes into apartments and gets just 2 kills, so that actually brings it back into the realm of the possible here for NiP.
It's a really big double kill, but Taco shutting Alu down. And well, now it is on Get Right here. 1 versus 2, but the bomb is now in A, and Get Right has no idea. So all Taco has to do is stay alive. Well, look at the kill. I guess that works too. Triple here for Taco. What a great round. He's been playing out of his mind as well. That's going to be 13-3 here, and with that round, I think NiP are too far underground to make a comeback happen.
It's a deep, dark hole that they're in. It is.
The dirt has already been shoveled on.
Yeah, and the casket's made out of titanium.
There's no getting out.
I mean, they go for the hard eco, so they aren't even going to risk. Makes you wonder if they want to go for some kind of all-out aggressive buy in the next one. 14 rounds, just all or nothing. FAMAS, Kevlar, no nades. Maybe that could be in the cards here. Freiburg will be able to bring it back, at least taking out FNX, but Forrest is the only man here on the B site, and that bomb is ready. It's going to get planted. Forrest hoping it for a lucky break, and he gets the angle right. But he will not be able to have much more of an impact than that. As the smoke clears, he's not long for this world. And Alu is now left all by his lonesome. Last man here for NiP coming up on short. Looking for a long-range shot with that P250. Not the best gun. I'm sure you would prefer to have a Deeg.
A little bit of damage, but not going to be working out here. So 14-3. I mean, Luminosity right now, they're playing out of their minds. The only way to resurrect NiP at this point, Semler, you know, B2 drive a metal rod through them and have lightning strike it. Friday the 13th reference right there.
There you go.
Jason Voorhees.
I don't think we want Jason running around out here, though, because he's the kind of person that's like...
I bet he could shut down Luminosity, though.
He probably could, but then he'd probably like come out of the screen and shut us down, too, you know what I mean? Some true horror show stuff.
Now, only teenagers who like to shower their legs. It's going to be Freiburg going down. We're too old to get killed by Jason.
Oh, coming alive here, NiP. Exist hitting the headshot on Fur. They're getting a little ahead of themselves, Luminosity. NiP just, have to take a moment, give them a quick reality check in the shape of a bullet through the brain pan. And now it is just fallen. Very nice and tidy round here for NiP. And this is what I'm talking about before we got into the second half, Anders. It is just going to come down to the headshots because it's going to come down to individual plays. NiP are clearly struggling playing as a unit, as a team. And so what's the only thing that will work in that case is that if you do have the 5 aim stars and they are just running around winning every duel, and then it gets difficult for Luminosity. If they can slow things down to the point where Luminosity can't get some kind of execute going, if they can get some picks in early on NiP, sure, they can run it back. Anything is possible with NiP.
And I would actually love to see NiP adopt a sort of style like the one that Luminosity was doing and pushing aggressively. It's what we always actually ask for. It's almost like Luminosity is like the ultimate CT side Counter-Strike team right now on Mirage because they're doing it so well with those aggressive pushes.
What's crazy is that yesterday Forrest was leading it, and today he got 4 of his 5 frags in 1 round. And right now we're not seeing anything from him. He needs to come alive here. He needs to wake up and get on this server. 8 seconds left for Fallen to go for it. He's gonna spot the 1, and okay then. And just gets 1 kill.
Get Right goes down, and
that's gonna tilt Get Right.
What was the weapon he had?
A rifle.
Did his teammate pick it up? I swear I saw Exist. I don't know who was up there with him. Wondering if they saved the rifle or at least saved the better rifle. Either way, it is a good job here for NiP. 14-4. Still a long ways away, but I'd be in the mood for another comeback scenario here, Summer. I could be all right with that.
Well, this is fun. I like this. And Luminosity, they go for it. They have Fallen who held onto his AK. They're able to get 2 more rifles, and then they get Tech 9s and some nades. So they have some options here going into this round. And it does look like it will be that B execute coming through here. Luminosity getting ready. Nade going to be coming in here. That's going to be the smoke to start things off. A little bit of a flash there from Freiburg to try and buy some time, but Luminosity are past his smoke. It's end days, baby! Taco's going to take him out. And now it's going to be the last 2 here. Forrest doing some work, at least what he can here from short, and there's still a man, Alu, lurking on the site.
Good Molotov there as well to try and block the plant, but it's just a little bit too far back. But Alu going to be spraying down 1, then 2, and Fur and Fallen they're going to be left here 2 versus 4. Fallen picking up the 1 kill. Fur with the Tech 9, he does go down to Forrest, and now Fallen, well, all alone, 1 versus 3 with 45 seconds. Another one of those situations you shouldn't win, and he won't. Exist will drop him. That's going to be 14-5.
There we go. 1 key round. Now this is going to put Luminosity on eco. It allows for NiP to get a little bit of room to breathe. This is great from Alu. They had no idea that he was holding that close to the site. They saw Freiburg, they saw Forrest. They're like, great, nobody's here, boys. Let's get the plant. Let's set up for after plants. Let's, lock things down. And Alu was able to pull a fast one on him. The White Death. All right, but now this is just NiP's time to shine. Now they just need to, like Luminosity were doing to them, they have to come in here, put their foot down, just say, nope, you're not getting a damn thing, Luminosity, not even a kill, not a single point of damage. They just need to obliterate Luminosity in this round right now, NiP. Shake up the Brazilians.
Well, FNX making that hard, but the rest of NiP replying swiftly. And the round is going to be done within the space of 3 seconds, and that's a pretty good reply there. And you're right, these kind of shutdown rounds are really important. Luminosity have such a huge buffer of rounds now where they can try all sorts of things, and that's really, really good. The problem is, when you have these many rounds, you also you do get to try almost every tactic you have, which is the problem. If none of them work, then you start to question yourself and say, okay, we've kind of tried everything here. Let's go back and retry something we've already done. So if they play another 4 rounds here without making anything work, Luminosity, and we end up at like a 14-10 kind of scoreline, I could see the Brazilian team getting just a little bit frustrated.
What's crazy to me is that Forrest has taken the AWP and not Alu. There's the first shot, though, and the headshot. Forrest. He's gonna warm cold up. And he will get the follow-up. Fallen trying to get that trade frag. Forrest, he's got that timing down pat right now. 3v5 now for Luminosity, and they are pushing out onto that A side. Taco desperate to bring it back for his team. He needs to find a kill quick here, but everybody on NiP, they're playing quiet. Now they spotted him. Element of surprise is gone, and Exist just decides to challenge like a boss.
Just Fur left. Nobody from NiP has even died yet. They've not even taken any health damage, and they won't either. Alu, like a true ninja, just comes leaping out of the window and shots further down. That's now 14-7. And the money for Luminosity, I mean, they're not even getting the bomb down right now. This is not looking so good.
But there we go. These are the kinds of plays from Forrest. Okay, I was questioning him. Why does he have the AWP and not Alu? It's for moments like this. And also yesterday, when he went for that hero op, you remember on Dust 2, got 3 kills. If Forrest can get his head in the game, if he can show he has no fear, that could make the difference here for NiP. 14-7 now, NiP. Just, you know, it's like a baby comeback. It's not quite there yet, but, you know, it's learning how to walk.
It's in the building. Nice grenade early on here from Freiburg again, getting the timing down well. And Alu, I think, yeah, he's got the HE in hand. So if Freiburg calls for it, then it's going to be Boomtown up there. Freiburg putting out a bit of a grenade, and Alu, he does get the grenade kill on first. Sprays down one more. Freiburg with the Molotov, even from beyond the grave. He reaches out with his fiery hands and takes down Taco, and it's going to be Fallen now going down next. And NiP, I mean, they're playing these rounds, if not flawlessly, then almost flawlessly. Alu has got a stunning 22 kills right now. The Finnish player is saving the Swedish team, and that's going to be now 14-8, only a 6-round difference here.
And Forrest is coming back into it, right? A few rounds ago, he only had 5 kills. He's more than doubled that now. And yeah, there we go. The NiP chant begins. Home turf, baby, home turf. And is this a tactical pause coming in from Luminosity? This might very well be.
Look at the arc of people we've got around here. It's like half of Dreamhack have just congregated to come up here and watch this game. And the way it's shaping up right now, Sam, it was worth the effort to get here.
Oh, yeah. Now we might actually have a match on our hands. We're not into the double digits yet for NiP. But they're perfectly capable. I mean, this is the team that used to pull off legendary comebacks every day of the week, almost as if it was nothing. You could never count them out of a map. But yeah, this guy right here is what's going to be worrisome. Luke and Fallen, all those clever strategies that he had versus Envy, he's digging through right now. And he's got the money to buy in the next round. He can get his AWP if he wants it.
Way back in the day when NiP was still in the map rotation, which is, by the way, being remade. Can't wait. I mean, the CT side is when NiP had the most ridiculous comebacks, right? That's where they really did a lot of work. So, gotta wonder.
Don't mention that to you know, very games. Dreamhack winner 2013, Nuke.
There was, I mean,
Fate.
Yeah,
had it in for the French Belgians then.
A lot of teams have had very bad experiences with NiP on that. The only team that sort of eventually challenged them was the Danish team, right? With Fetish and everything.
Because they were the team they were actually able to get like 12 3 halves, CT halves regularly. Like they were just the wall, the freight train.
Yeah, that got a bit scary. Well, timeouts I think are still 3 minutes, right? So you can tell that on the Brazilian side a lot is being discussed. I mean, for NiP, they don't need much of a discussion right now. They've just won the last 3 rounds, where it's been 5 members surviving twice, taking no damage, then 4 just now. They've got a big bank to work with, and yeah, they're either going to continue to plow on, or if they start losing rounds, they won't even need the bank that much, because then the game will be over, or at least the map.
What I'm curious to see is whether NiP are going to be brave enough to go for the kinds of crazy pushes. Just get out there into pit, get out there into apartments, like what Luminosity were just doing to them, right? Push the top mid. Yeah. These sorts of aggressive options that's really going to set Luminosity back. Do NiP, are they going to go for it?
Well. We've got Alu in the middle, but not with an AWP, so a little bit scary, a little bit frightening, but Fallen on the other hand, he doesn't have one either. Cold, they're going to be smoking him off, and we'll see if there is a way in here for the Brazilians finally. Forrest flicking blindly into the smoke, could have actually been taken out. That was a little bit scary. So mid-control in the hands of Luminosity.
And well, Luminosity right now have got to be thinking to themselves, right, okay, so we know that Forrest is short with that AWP. Alu was putting shots through from window. This is default NiP. The rotation is coming through. Forrest is going to get over onto this A site, though, so he is trying to throw a bit of a fast one, a bit of a wrench in things here for Luminosity. They might still be thinking he's over on the B site. Not going to matter if Alu gets snuffed by Cold, though.
That's such a huge kill right in the center of the map. Now the rest of NiP have got to be worried about the backlines as well. They got to worry about someone sneaking up behind them, and Cold is going to be taking down Exist right through the box. What an unreal play. The bomb being brought back towards the B-bomb side, and Freiburg, he's trying to defend, but he ends up going down. They finally take care of Cold, but that was a huge play.
Yeah, that was just a masterclass right there by Fallen. Once they realize that they've got Cold up in jungle, there's no easy rotation for NiP possible. They can't go through connector, they can't go through CT. Of course you take that bomb over towards the B site and you get the job done. Forrest point blank will take out Fur. So they do bring it back to a man advantage here for Luminosity. If GetRight could have landed that shot, it would have been magical. But he loses Forrest in any case, and Fallen and FNX to pick up the last 2 frags and put Luminosity up on map point. But the quick reactions and communication there from Luminosity. As soon as Cold gets into the mid like that, and he has control of that key part of the map that's stopping the rotation, Luminosity, they have a free way onto that B site.
15-8, ladies and gentlemen. Luminosity now bringing it to map point here. The first in the best of 3, and a very strong performance. We saw it from them earlier today, and they haven't forgotten how to do it either. Just stunning Counter-Strike coming out from the Brazilian team. Grenade landing at the top mid, not really doing too much damage, and Alu is going to get smoked off, puts out a random shot at the end. And Forrest, this is where he started with the AWP. Can he do it again? He does spot them out, but standing in fire, it's only fun for so long, and he's going to give it up.
But they have mid-control again. Where did that shot come from Forrest? He got him in Delpan. Alu's there, double up play now for NiP. Both of them picking up kills. That's going to set Luminosity back a little bit. Fur, Taco, and FNX, the last 3 alive. Bomb is all the way back in T-spawn as well. They need to find a kill. Taco, he takes the duel flat out, and he loses it versus GetRight. That could have been the moment. That could have been what turned it around here for Luminosity. Instead now, they're in a situation where they're just going to get choked out of this round.
Yeah, Fur and FNX, I mean, what do you really do when you're this far behind? Doing economic damage to NiP doesn't really matter that much anymore. Exist is going to get the bullet to the face, but Fur will be dropped for FNX next, and it's a nice round here for the double up setup. Alu and Forrest both, and we're looking at 15-9. The money more or less entirely reset here for Luminosity. 2 people could buy AKs, but the rest definitely can't. So, yeah, semi with the Tech 9.
Yeah, just quasi-buy. They'll have the money to get an AWP in the next round if they want it. So Luminosity, they have some options. They can't just go full YOLO as well. They've got 3 guys with Tech 9 and Kevlar to lead the charge. Smoke on Cold, there's the flash. Molotov goes down though, those anti-rush nades perfectly timed from NiP to stop any kind of aggressive, ultra-aggressive play coming out from Luminosity. Now it comes down to whether they want to commit.
Well, if they do, you see, they've got the Molotovs here. Freiburg just has to call it out, and this whole hallway is going to be set on fire, and Luminosity, I don't know, they're going to have a really hard time making it through, I think.
This is more of a standard approach here. One thing is that Alu's pushed all the way up to top mid alone, by the way. Sees that nobody's there. This is going to be confirmation. Freiburg holding a tight angle, though. Only 1-for-1 trade. Forrest is there, and he's lining up shots, but that's only one he's going to get. That Molotov buying so much time. If Taco had gotten taken out there, that would have been it. But instead, Luminosity, they powered their way onto this site. Exist trying to bring it back, and they're actually doing a fine job. Exist, he's the one. And Alu misses. Cold snuffs him. But it's still a 1v2, and he's caught out in the open. Cold, nowhere to go, and NiP, they hang in there just barely. Way too close to a round there, Anders.
Yeah, a little bit scary. I mean, that should have been a tighter defense, I think, in the hallways. They do have a lot of money, so losing 3 players means nothing to NiP at this point. They don't care about the money any longer. Another 5 rounds, and we'll be in overtime. Luminosity, I mean, statistically, I'd say they should pull this one off. Yeah,
no doubt about it. They still have the opportunity to run 5 different strats. If they can get bomb plants, I mean, they can get the buys. All the pressure is on NiP to stand when it's necessary. Quick flash, quick play onto the A site. They're already through Luminosity. They're not wasting any time at all, and they literally just jump on top of GetRight. It's going to be Alu now holding from CT. No smoke to block him, though, so he gets an easy shot.
It's a bit of a rude away game, really. Announcing themselves by standing on GetRight, Cold in the middle, winning a very important fight against Freiburg. And now Exist coming into it. He got a great double kill last round. This time he takes down Fallen. And Fur trying to see if he can push closer. He needs to get a kill on someone here, playing at the edge. Well played indeed. And Forrest is going to be alone. 1 versus 3. The bomb is about to go down. He's got the AWP, misses the first shot. They know where he is, and they don't have to fight him. And they're playing very defensively. And this is exactly what they want to do. He goes down, and that's going to be Luminosity winning the first round here, the first map. 16-10. Well played on the Brazilian side, and NiP tell not what they were looking for to start off with.
Not at all, and they just, I mean, no reaction out of them. They're stunned, and I think you can see it in their game as well right now. NiP are just desperate to find some kind of solution. They don't, you can't rely on 1v4 aces or 1v4 clutches, you know, to get you through on maps. You need to be able to find some kind of working game plan. And right now, NiP, it still feels like they're searching. Luminosity, however, they look just so good right now, Anders.
Yeah, they got put under a lot of pressure at one point in the game, especially at the end there when NiP were having, you know, back-to-back flawless rounds. And it still worked out really well for them. So, I mean, they're just showing us so much right now. Beautiful Counter-Strike from South America. We're going to go into a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be the second map. Stay with us.